Hello and welcome, everyone. It's wonderful to see you all here. Before we begin today, I would like to pay my respects to the traditional owners of the land that I live and work on, the people of Mamu country in North Queensland. And I'd also like to pay my respects to traditional owners and elders past and present right across Australia and the Torres Strait. All right, I'm just letting people in. So I'm very excited to introduce our special guest speaker to you today. And she has been working with us and with the AusMum community for many, many years now, probably 10 years, Candice. It's definitely been a long time. And I'm really excited because the opportunities that are out there for us as mums in business are huge. And already with this year's awards, we've seen finalists be on TV. We've seen them in newspapers. They've had radio interviews. They've been on podcasts. There's been really, really great pickup by the media. So I know that there is definitely interest for all of you to be getting on the media in your local newspaper, the radio, even local TV news are picking up these stories. So yeah, great opportunity for you to be doing PR, spreading the word about your business and what you do. I mean, that's what we have to do as business owners is talk about what we're doing and tell people that we're here and we're here to help them and what our services are and what our products are and all of those things, as all of you know. So without further ado, I would like to now hand over to Candice, who is going to talk to us about PR and the best way to approach it. And then she'll go through a presentation and then we'll do questions at the end. So if you have any questions, just jot them down so we can do questions after. Hello and welcome, Candice. Please.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. We're excited.
Great. So I'm going to jump right into it because there's a lot of information to share. I've created a little bit of a different presentation today, just in case some of you have heard me talk before. So I hope you enjoyed any questions at the end. So please, yeah, make notes during the presentation. I'm going to share my screen now. Great. So today I'm going to teach you how to boost your visibility. And the first thing that I'm going to go into is I always start with this, and what is PR? Because people think PR, they think celebrities or crisis, and it can be that, but we're going to learn today that PR is much more than that. So public relations is the way that you as a founder or co-founder and your business, which is your brand, communicates to the public. We're going to go a little bit deeper now. So PR is also known as strategic communications, and it's a process that involves managing how information about either you as the founder, co-founder, spokesperson, or about your business, how you sharing that information, how you disseminating it to the public. The aim of PR is to influence public perception and to build relationships that are mutually beneficial for you and the other person or the media. It encompasses a range of activities designed to maintain a positive image and handle communication effectively. And today we're going to learn that things don't always go positively. So I'm also going to give you some tips on what to do when there is, especially now with social media around, when you do get that negativity. I'm going to teach you what to do in your business. So here's a little chart that shows you what public relations is. So public relations is everything. Some of you may have investors. So it's managing the communication and the relationship with stakeholders and investors. It's community relations, which is really important today. So whether that's your social media community or a newsletter that you send to your community, or if you actually have a bricks and mortar store, it's about engaging with your local community to continue to build that positive reputation and create goodwill. It's internal communication. All your staff, some of you may have like 5 staff, others may have 500 staff. So it's about internally fostering that positive image and creating communication specifically known as internal communication. Then we have crisis communication, which is developing strategies to manage communication if there's any negative events or if a crisis does occur. And then today you can see the one that we're going to be mainly focusing on is media relations, because you want to get your media coverage in TV, radio, print, online. And so we want to build and maintain relationships with journalists and the media to secure coverage. And I always say to our clients that we know that we've done our job when the media are going directly to you. So we can start you off on like a path, and we know that when the media are bypassing us and coming to you via your mobile number or social media, we've done our job. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do today, is to build those relationships so the media go to you. So PR is not advertising. So this is another misconception that I would like to just address. It is often confused with advertising. Advertising is a paid form of communication, which is aimed at promoting products or services, whereas PR is known as earned media, and it's more organic. And there were some changes made to Google at the beginning of the year, I think it was in May, and earned media is now ranking much higher in terms of SEO. So people are coming to us just for digital PR, even though we do all types of PR. And for your campaigns, digital PR will definitely help you with that earned media online, and that will increase your SEO organically and your social media followers organically. So just remember, PR is not advertising. Advertising is paid media, and there's definitely still a place for paid media, but PR is earned media, because you're earning your place in the article. You're earning your place to be interviewed on the podcast or on the radio station or on TV. So today I'm going to ask you to imagine that your PR campaign is a beautiful, tidy garden. It's a beautiful garden of media coverage. And you can see here we've got like the pink flowers, we'll say, are TV, the blue ones are radio, you have your print and your online. And each flower bed can also represent your increasing your brand awareness, your credibility, your SEO, as we've just discussed, and then of course those leads and sales, which we want from PR as well. So I'm now going to teach you how to grow this garden. So the first step is the planting seeds. And in this garden, the seeds are going to represent your key messages. So this is the first homework that you would need to do for creating your PR campaign today, is you would need to work on your key messages and the narratives that you want to share with the public. Just as a gardener selects the right seeds for the climate and soil, you need to choose your key messages that are based on your audience and the media that you want to target. So a PR professional can guide you with regards to which seeds are newsworthy, so which key messages are newsworthy and what will get picked up in the media. We're going to learn a little bit more about that now. So carefully choose your key messages that are aligned with your brand values. You have to tailor the communication to your target audience and to the media that your target audience consumes. There's no point if you have a service-based business focused on just a B2B and you targeting consumer publications, your pitches are going to get rejected. It needs to be relevant. If you're an accountant, but you're pitching to I don't know, an agricultural publication, they're just going to get annoyed and frustrated, and it's not going to be good for anyone. So that's when I say you need to tailor your communication to your target audience and to the media that your target audience consumes. Be authentic and true to your brand values and your brand when you select your key messages. The messages will form the base for all your PR and marketing campaigns. The step 2 is to nurture the seeds. So once the seeds are planted, they require nurturing, water, sunlight, and care. Nurturing symbolizes ongoing PR efforts, such as media relations, the community engagement, and internal communications that we touched on earlier when we were doing that pie chart. PR is ongoing. If you are engaging a PR professional for a certain campaign, that's fine. If you only want to engage them for a month or 3 months or 6 months, but you need to keep the media, you need to send them press releases, you need to send them thought leadership pieces, you need to keep pitching. They need to remember who you are. The minute you stop, like watering and giving sunlight and care to a plant, obviously the plant's going to die, and it's the same thing. You're not going to be relevant in the media anymore. So just as a gardener monitors the plants for signs of growth or distress, PR practitioners assess the public sentiment and adjust our strategies accordingly. So what that basically means, if your pitch isn't working, your press release isn't resonating, your key messages aren't aligning with the media or with your internal communications or your community anymore, go back to the drawing board. And this does happen. It's really important to pivot and to change your messaging if something's no longer working so that you can continue getting the earned media growth. So how can you do this? You can edit your press releases or pitch to any breaking news or community event so that that's happening at the moment or that's going to happen. So for example, next week is Dental Healthcare Week across Australia. So if anyone was in that space, that's something to be aware of. So look for what awareness days or community events are relevant to your business, and you can change your strategy for PR as well as your marketing strategy to make sure that it aligns with the event. Prepare the soil. So before launching any PR campaign, you need to research your audience and media landscape. And that goes back to what media does your target audience consume. Water regularly is to maintain consistent communication with your stakeholders. So remember your investors, your internal comms, your community comms, and then obviously the media relations. Keep up the relationships, keep building the relationships so that you can get continuous media coverage. Step 3, I spoke about crisis communications when we were discussing the pie chart of PR. So how do you weed out negativity? A gardener needs to deal with weeds that can choke the growth of healthy plants. In the PR world, these weeds represent negative perceptions or misinformation that can harm an organization's reputation. With social media and a digital footprint and Google reviews, and this is so important, you need to stay on top of this. So PR professionals can work with you to identify, to remove these weeds through a crisis communication and proactive messaging. If you do have an event, it is best to respond to any misinformation before it gets out of control. So address any negative press or misinformation on social media promptly. Just as weeds can choke out healthy plants, unaddressed issues can overshadow your positive messages. And the whole point of PR is to keep that positivity and goodwill up. Step 4 is producing fruit. So finally, the garden flourishes, and this is your media coverage. So you're going to get TV, you're going to get radio, you're going to get podcasts and online media, as well as print. So the positive perceptions and strong relationships and everything will build from your PR efforts. Just as the gardener enjoys the bounty of their hard work, you will get there. And I see it for our clients, and I've been doing this for a really long time. It's about persistence, and it's about keeping on putting out relevant, newsworthy content, such as press releases and thought leadership pieces and tips. Share your media coverage on socials when you get it. So if you are on TV, often on social media, they'll put a link on Facebook or Instagram. Share that with your on your socials. Send your media coverage to your database in a newsletter. This is going to automatically feed your community, and it's going to increase your credibility and goodwill. Add a media or press section to your website that gives you authority and it builds credibility. You're basically using the media's brands to elevate your brand. It's like a gravity pull effect. Repurpose your media coverage as paid ads on social media. It's much more credible to have a third party saying how great you are, especially if it's a producer, reporter, or journalist, than you saying how great you are. So I've seen clients take a TV clip, or clients take a article, for example, news.com.au or Daily Mail or any kind of coverage, and repurpose that as a paid ad in their paid marketing strategy. And they've got much better results because you're pushing that credibility of a third party. So now I'm just going to go through some more tips, and then we'll get to any questions for your own businesses at the end. So more tips are to fertilize with engaging content. content needs to be valuable for the media to pick it up. It needs to be interesting. A tip here is to make sure that the subject in your email, if you're doing an email pitch, or your key message needs to really cut through. Think of a headline in a newspaper or a headline in an article. It's interesting, it's exciting, it's sometimes a little bit controversial or clickbait. So to fertilize with engaging content is to really take those words and to make them interesting to the journalist and to your audience, all whilst adding value and education. Prune strategically, refine your messages and cut away ineffective strategies. Like pruning plants, this helps focus energy on your most productive efforts. So if something's not working, follow up once. And if it's still not working, then go back to the drawing board and go to the next topic or angle that you're going to position to the media. Don't keep flogging the same thing if it's not working. You're just going to end up having a negative effect because you're going to annoy the journalist or the producer. And there's a fine line between like following up and adding value, and then you don't want to go into the bad book. So really just follow up once, maximum twice if it's already like if you've done a huge research piece that you're putting out, or it's a new launch or something that you know is incredibly adding value to the journalist stuff, then I'd say follow up twice. But more than that, you need to go back to the drawing board and you need to change your strategy. Adapt to the seasons. Be prepared to adjust your PR strategy as the media landscape or public sentiment changes, just like a gardener will adapt to the different seasons. So I spoke about awareness days. If you go on Google, you hit community awareness days, people do this for their social media planning as well. Look where you can tap into, where it's relevant, because the media are always covering awareness days. Even seasons. So if your product's seasonal, or if your product or service can be seasonal, or special offers or angles that you can tap into the seasons. If there's any specific event that you're doing, or if there's an event that's global or like local in Australia or to your region, then jump onto that. Another thing that you can do is called newsjacking, and that is when you jump on a topic that is hot, that is topical, and you get coverage based on the newsjacking on the topic that you're now putting information out. I can give you an example. So, for example, if there's something, just say cybersecurity, there was that massive global outage a week or two ago. So we had a client in the cybersecurity space. They a mum and dad, and they have their husband and wife actually work together. They are cybersecurity experts, absolutely brilliant. We put them out as cybersecurity experts and they got amazing coverage. So see if there's something that you can comment on from an expert point of view, or if you've got someone in your business who could do it if you can't, and use that jack the news. Be patient and persistent. While sometimes PR success does happen overnight, and I've definitely seen it happen overnight, it often does take patience and persistence, and that continuous watering the media, the continuous feeding them the right information to get results. So here are some more tips that I'm going to give you today. So the first thing that you need to do before you contact media is to select the key messages for your PR campaign, and this needs to be seamless and work with your marketing campaign. The next thing that you're going to do is you need to research what media your target audience consumes before pitching. You're not going to just go and pitch to every media outlet in your region or in Australia or in New Zealand. You need to make, I'd say, a top 10 list and start from there. Make sure that your key messages are current and newsworthy. Customize your press release. Remember, I spoke about the heading. So your heading and your subheading is so important in your press release, as well as in your pitch and your email subject. It's really the make or break. It's whether it's going to get deleted or whether they're going to continue reading further. Your pitch is a very short summary of your press release. If you can keep it to 100 words or 1 to 2 paragraphs, that's all. Anything else, people are just going to delete it. Use storytelling in your press release, in your pitch, and in your key messages. Storytelling's bigger than ever. People want to see authentic stories. They want you to share your story. Your professional and your personal story often merge together. And this real authentic story is what's going to make you different, and what's going to make your brand different, and what's going to get you the media coverage. Thought leadership pieces are huge at the moment. So use thought leadership pieces, any expert commentary or advice op-eds, which is similar to a thought leadership piece, but you can do this in various ways. You can do an open letter if you want to write an open letter about a specific topic or cause. Founder stories are amazing. They often get PR coverage just based because the story is going to be so unique and personal and bespoke to your product or service and brand. And so then just start off with one. You don't have to do all of them when you're pitching to the media. Just start off with one. It just makes it easier and you can focus your pitch and make it much more strategic. When securing media coverage, don't forget to repurpose it. It is so important to, if you think of a lemon, just squeeze out every single drop of juice. So repurpose it for social media, use it with your overall marketing strategy, put a press section on your website and use it as advertising. Like I explained, a lot of people use it for social media ads because it's much more credible. Use media coverage and media brands to elevate your brand. If someone goes onto your website and sees that you are in these credible media outlets, so you can say as seen on Sky News, as seen on Sunrise, put the brands where you've been seen. Plus, also you get that digital footprint from having to put the press section on your website. If you only got coverage in print or you only got coverage on TV and there's no digital side, create that digital side by creating that press section or blog on your website so that it's there on, because digital PR is so important and it's just going to get bigger and bigger. In summary, the most important thing is that you need to know your audience. Identify your target audience, and you'll probably have a few different levels of target audience. You might have primary, secondary, and tertiary target audiences, and understand where they are consuming their news. This knowledge will then help you to tailor your key messages, your seeds that we learned about earlier, and choose the right platforms for outreach. If you don't want to pitch to TV, you don't have to. Sometimes clients will come to us and they'll only want a radio campaign or they'll only want us to focus our efforts on TV. You can do the same with your PR efforts. You don't have to start going everywhere. You can really just start with one platform, if, for example, TV, or for example, digital, if you want to work on your digital PR strategy. In saying that, if you have time to invest in PR, then definitely try and get everywhere, especially once you're putting that message out there. A strong narrative or compelling story is crucial. So focus on what makes your brand your unique, your USP, your why, and how it addresses the needs or interests of your audience. Journalists are always looking for new, fresh content. They're looking for interesting angles. So make sure your story is engaging and newsworthy. Make sure that you don't use promotional language. No one wants to be sold to. Journalists are not buying your story. They want to tell your story. So share it from a storytelling perspective, not a sales perspective. Same thing when you're pitching. Your pitch is not a sales pitch. Make sure that your authenticity, your story, and your content is coming across as educational, as valuable, and as a story rather than as promotional. Building relationships with journalists, established personal connections with journalists can really improve your chance of media coverage. Engage with them on social media, whether that be LinkedIn or Instagram. Share their work and create a rapport with them before pitching your story. You can comment on the story, you can reach out to them on LinkedIn, you can just connect with them on LinkedIn and not say anything so that at least they know your name or they've seen you so that you have already like put that little breadcrumb out there. This approach can lead to more meaningful interactions rather than transactional relationships, which people avoid. So you will then see that they'll respond to your pitches because they'll have seen your name before. So what I would recommend is, as I said, start with your key messages, then work out who your target audience is and what media they consume. Then the next thing is to make a list of 10 that you're going to target, connect with them on social media, research their work, and let them see your name before you send a press release or pitch or thought leadership piece to them. Create a punchy pitch. So your pitch should be concise and to the point. Earlier on, I recommended around 100 words, maximum 2 paragraphs. Use a conversational, like friendly tone in your pitch. Write in present tense and focus on the newsworthy angles of your story. Aim to convey those key messages clearly and quickly to capture the journalist's attention, and don't forget about the subject line. Target the right media outlets. So research the media outlets that align with your brand and audience. If you look at a media outlet and just say, I'm just thinking if you're in a women's interest space and you're having a look at like 10 women's interest publications that you're going to be targeting, if one of them publishes content that you feel doesn't align with your like brand values, then don't pitch to them. So that's why it's important to do the research, because not every single outlet's going to write in the same way that aligns with your values. And the same thing if you are working with a PR agency and you know of a specific outlet that you want to avoid, then just be honest with your PR agency and let them know that it doesn't align with your values. An example here is Daily Mail. Some people absolutely love it. The backlink and the SEO that you get from a Daily Mail article is incredible. They love founder stories. They love turnover founder stories. And they also support a lot of women entrepreneurs, which is great. But some people just don't want to be featured in the Daily Mail. So that's just one of the controversial publications where you can decide some people want to be in it and others don't. Stay consistent and persistent. So PR is an ongoing effort. Regularly update your media contacts, continue to share stories and engage with your audience. A pro tip here is media often move around. The industry, like poachers or people just move jobs. So just make sure that if you've got that media list and you're creating one now, make sure to keep updating it. Persistence is key to building your brand and gaining media traction over time. If you want them to continue using you as an expert, you need to make sure that you are always contacting them. So not every week, but at least like once a month or once every 2 months. If you're doing your own PR, make sure that you're contacting them with the relevant angle. Keep your online presence updated. So this is ensuring that your website and your social media profiles are current and reflect your brand accurately. If you're a finalist, which you are, and if you're winning an award, just make sure that you keep updating your online presence. Journalists often just do a quick Google or they look on LinkedIn or they'll check your website. So make sure that your online presence is engaging and polished. So I'd love to connect with you, and I'm going to take some questions now, but they're my contact details. I'd love to connect with you on LinkedIn, and feel free to reach out if you have got any other questions. And I'm going to stop sharing the screen.
Thank you so much, Candice. That was amazing. So much information in there, and I hope people were taking notes because yeah, it was really good. Really, really good. Now, I know we have some questions. Tanya Hicks had written in the comments. So Tanya, if you'd like to come on, unmute and come and say hi to Candice.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Candice.
Hi, Tanya.
I have some clients in the background, so just so you know, in case there's a little bit of noise, I apologize for that. I've set them up for a while to play together while I ask you this question. So do I just repeat the question that I asked?
You can, or otherwise I can read it, whatever. Yeah.
Amazing. So my question is, I was really interested in the addressing the negative on your socials. Mine is about a Google review. So I had a disgruntled client probably about 12 months or so ago. No matter what I tried to do, it just didn't get a good result. And they went onto my Google review and blasted me on there. On all my others are 5 stars. So I've just kind of ignored it, but I'm wanting to do the correct thing. Should I go and respond to that?
So is it from 12 months ago?
Yeah.
So I would leave it because it's from a long time ago. At the moment, I would leave it. I'd have to have a look at it. So I'm happy for you to send it to me and I can have a look at it. If it's not factual and if it's something that's that could negatively affect your business, then it is important to address it. My only concern is it's quite old. So is it worth actually? That's what I'd have to read it and then give you the information based on that. So when it comes to crisis PR, there's 2 things that we do. Either we tell our clients to not say anything and to ignore it, and that's the same whether you've got like someone trolling you on social media or a journalist putting something in the media or a Google review. It's all handled the same. So either we do what you do is we advise the client to just ignore it, or depending on if there is that false information, then we need to obviously address it.
Sorry. Okay, so just for clarity, if it happened now, I would address that. It basically just said, don't use this person, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, so I'm happy for you to send it to me and I can just give you like a quick professional opinion based on that. If you do have to write something, it would be like a short statement, like 1 or 2 lines, just putting the facts straight in a very polite manner. The main thing to remember is in the moment, like if a bad Google review comes through and we want to react out of emotion, especially if it's like instantly coming through. So we just need to remember to stop that emotion from taking over. Take a day or so to think about it and consult any mentors or business partners or anyone in your business that you trust or a PR professional, and then decide whether you're going to keep quiet or act. But I'm happy to have a look. I'm happy to have a look for you.
Love it. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Tanya. Bethany Chambers has a question for you, Candice. Bethany, would you like to jump on and say hi?
Oops, I think the light went off here as well.
Hang on, there we go. Are we back? Are we in? Yay! Can you hear me?
Hi, I can. I just lost light. I'm in the office and I have no idea what just happened to the light. But yeah, you can also.
Oh, you poor thing. You're living in a cave all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, firstly, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. You are amazing at what you do and you're so generous with your time. Did have a question. When you initially get a press release, for example, as us being finalists, and you really want to get it out there to the world, how do you find the contact details for the journos to spam it?
Yeah, so don't spam it. Rather be more selective and just work on like a media list rather than spamming it. Because think about it, they're going to get spam from all the finalists as well. So we just need to be a bit more strategic, and then also customize it. So customize the press release based on your story, including the heading. And then so go on LinkedIn or Google and have a search that way to try and get the details. Contact them otherwise on social media. So PR agencies have software and databases and kind of like a little black book that we use. If you're doing it yourself, then you'd have to use good old Google or social media.
Yep. No, that's fine. I understand now. Yes. No spamming.
Yeah. Thanks, Bethany.
Thanks,
Thank you, Candice.
Justine has a question. Justine, jump on and say hi.
Hi, Candice. Hi,
Justine.
Kate. How are you guys?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good. So good to see you. Just a really quick question. Sorry, you'll have to excuse me. I've just got back in my dog walking gear.
Great.
Can you give an example of what a good or captivating headline and then subheading might be?
So obviously it depends on your industry, but what you can do for ideas, if you're doing it yourself, is I would recommend using some AI to help you, like as a sounding board. That's what I'd probably recommend. So just go onto ChatGPT. Don't use the heading from ChatGPT because you can see it's AI, but just use it as a sounding board and like think of it as like a mentor for you and ask them to help you with specifically explain what industry you're in, explain your background, your founder story. You need to give it really good prompting and then ask it to come up with like a subheading and a heading for you, or alternatives. Ask for 5 headings or 5 subheadings.
Okay, great. And I'm so excited to work with you in the future.
Oh, I'm excited to work with you too. Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Justine. Who else has a question for Candice? You can just unmute and say hi if you like.
Yeah, I do. Can you hear me?
Hi, Sue. Yes,
Hi, good morning.
Hi, Sue.
Hi, Candice. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. It's nice to see you again.
Yeah, we did work together and had some fantastic success on Studio 10. That's continued, which is I do keep using that. It's lovely.
Oh, great, amazing. That's great to know.
Yeah, I just had a question. So recently I've been in the local newspapers here in WA, regional ones, with being a finalist. I just wondered sort of where to go next with those. So they've contacted me and put articles in 2 local newspapers and 1 radio interview last week. Do I keep responding or keep contact with those reporters, or sort of what would be the next step to I guess, going a bit more national with that that success that I've had here locally.
So you can use that local angle and see how you can apply that nationally. And you would have to contact different journalists. So local journalists, regional journalists, and national journalists all have different roles. So you need to research the relevant national journalist if you want to contact them and pitch to them. And then you can go back to the local ones with a new angle in a few months' time or even next year, depending on. Generally, they won't do the same story twice. So you need to come up with something fresh.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thanks, Sue. Megan, did you have a question for Candice?
Yeah, apologies if you've covered this. I just wanted to make sure that, I'm clear on this. So I actually contacted the local newspaper, just, in becoming a finalist. Anyway, I just got crickets. So I'm just wondering, do I kind of email them? Do I contact again? I contacted, I actually telephoned the editor because there was a number there.
Yeah.
And I just left a message and just nothing. Then I got scared.
I would follow up once more and otherwise change the pitch or change the press release that you're putting out. Just change the angle, but don't give up. People are busy. People miss, we all human, we miss emails or things happen. So definitely follow up again. If you hear nothing after following up on the phone and email, then I would go back to the drawing board and come up with a different pitch.
Okay, so I hadn't emailed, I only telephoned. So do you think I should do both?
Yes, definitely. People love emails, especially journalists. Stay busy. Generally, they use text message as well on TV, funny enough, but it's phone calls, like it's quick to forget about.
Yeah, okay, thanks. I can see people nodding. Thank you. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Megan.
Pleasure.
Anybody else have a question for Candice?
Hi, it's Monica. Do you mind if I ask a question?
Hi, Monica. Yeah, jump in.
Fabulous, thank you. Hello. It might be a really silly question, but I'm very new to this. When you reach out to the journalist with your pitch, do you have a pitch which is your 100-word summary and then include the press release, or is the press release something they develop from the pitch?
No, so you need to develop both if you're doing your own PR for a specific angle. So, for example, with the finalist, being a finalist, just so we're using that angle, you'll need to develop the press release as well as the pitch. So what I recommend starting off with is your key messages, then create that press release, which is around a page to a page and a half, and then use the press release to create the pitch from. So it's kind of like the pitch is the summary of the press release. And then you would send them, if you're doing an email pitch, you'd send them the pitch in an email and you could attach the press release to that email.
Okay, fabulous. That's excellent. Thank you.
Sure. It's a good question.
Yeah, thank you, Monica. Who else has this question?
Hi, Peace. Hi, Candice.
Hey, Leisha.
Hi. Thank you so much, Candice, for everything that you've said. My question is back to the local newspaper. I found when I've submitted for other awards, they only want me as an article if I'm paying for an ad. Is there any, so I don't know, am I doing it the wrong way, or I haven't been able to find it to be able to do it as you've said, that earned media way to get my foot in the door?
Contact the editorial team and make sure you're not contacting the advertising team. And if the advertising team contacts you and you don't want to place an ad, then just ignore them or don't go back to them. It's specifically editorial, and that is earned media. So just remember EE. So earned media is editorial.
Okay. Perfect.
I see founded by salespeople all the time. It's normal. It just comes with the job and with PR. It's paid media.
Okay. No. It's a great the great difference between paid and earned. It's just that, that's what's been my experience. So it's great to know that there are different departments that then you should be reaching out to.
Correct. And then just sometimes they'll try and gatekeep, like the ad people need to obviously make sales and targets and commissions. So they'll gatekeep the editor's details. So just try and contact them through social media directly, like the editor or the editor of a specific section, like a sports section or a lifestyle editor. So that just remember editorial, you're not wanting to go through the ads if you can.
Okay, perfect. All right. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Leisha. And Candice, journalists normally use LinkedIn and Twitter, don't they? So that's a way that you can contact people directly rather than...
And Yeah, even now, like TikTok and Instagram, and don't be afraid to reach out. Remember, you're actually helping them. Like, even though some prominent journalists will reach out to some of my clients sometimes on like Instagram to get hold of them, and then they'll put them in touch with me to handle the PR on their behalf. So feel free to reach out to them on social media, on any kind of social media.
Yeah, fantastic. Sarah had a question. Sarah Ilton, hello.
Yeah, I deleted it because then I was like, oh, do I ask? It's just more so like a general PR question. So I'm a virtual assistant, but I had Channel 7, like the local Channel 7, reach out to me about 6 months ago because I volunteer during my spare time with my kids at a local retirement village. So I was just curious as to, like, with PR opportunities, when do you connect, because that's more like a personal thing, when do you connect those kind of PR experiences with your business? Because I didn't put it on my website, but I still think like Channel 7 is a big one here.
Yeah.
To include, but
it's still you, and like being a founder, entrepreneur, our personal and our professional stories are pretty much very much intertwined, and that's what makes it so unique, and that's what makes the media interested in us. So I would recommend that you do use it and just see how you can weave it into your website, into your business story, because it's showing your character, it's showing who you are and your values, so it still is relevant to your business.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
So thank you, Sarah. Linda has a question. Hey, Linda.
Hi. So thanks very much, Candice. It's been really excellent. My question is, I was looking at the independent newspapers, and so I, did contact them, and they just said send it to their email, but they don't do a paper copy anymore. They are just doing online. Is that as effective?
Yes, definitely. So online is actually people want digital PR, which is online PR, because of the SEO, the backlinks that you often get. They're not guaranteed. Some publications won't do backlinks, but most of them do give you a backlink to your website, and that is like SEO gold. So we get that through PR. So it's definitely effective, if not so more than print. In saying that, I would still recommend making a list of 10 other outlets. So you've contacted one, so you are 9 now. So go through the other 9 that you can target. Also look national, like if it's relevant, obviously if you've got a local business and national's not relevant, don't do what I'm telling you to do. But if it's relevant to go national, to go to other states, go ahead and do that.
Yeah. So I have another question. Actually, I think I might have two. One of them is that if you're contacting them from via LinkedIn or their social media, do you just do like a quick 100-word or quick 2 sentences rather than going to some blurb and saying, I've got this whole press release? Do you just do the...
Yeah. So you can pitch straight away, but first try to connect with them, let them see your name. Like, it's just a slower way. It's kind of like, well, I just learned this as a sales course, but it's something that resonates with me. Like, I don't like selling. And so if you're not a salesy person, then it's just better to be more authentic. So for me, I'd rather connect with people, like kind of get to know who they are. So like read some of their stories, comment on some of their stories, and then pitch to them once you've got some kind of relationship going.
Right. And my other thing too was on these local, because I was looking to say, well, who would I contact? So, the Independent Whitehorse used to be a paper, the Melbourne Weekly, because I do a Boorandarra one. But I was sort of like going, and I went to our local Canterbury Neighbourhood Centre because they sent out something. Can you give us any ideas of what those like 10 might be if you're going local for like the AusMumpreneur thing?
So what you need to do is you need to look at your target audience and then see who your target audience is. So if your target audience is women, then there'll be so many. Like think about Mamma Mia, Naan Honey. So then just Google Women's Interest Media Australia. So like we don't do this as a PR agency. So I'm just like giving you advice as like a layperson who'd be doing this. We've got like all software and tools that do this for us. Like it's designed to do that for us. So I would recommend going onto Google if I were you and I was doing it myself, and just try and do the old school way. Like this is like the way that PR people must have done before there was any technology.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And Linda, don't forget about radio and podcasts and all of those as well. There's opportunities for you there too. Lee, hello. You've got a question for Candice.
Yes, thank you, Candice. It's really
Pleasure.
interesting. It's funny because I've never thought about doing PR for certain things, like, and I've won awards before and I haven't actually done anything with it, which is definitely a wasted opportunity. So I'm just now thinking, like, when you pitch these to, you know, the papers or the radio, like, how are you sort of pitching it because you're a finalist in an award, and then do you know, what is it more like? Is it better to do like an angle because you're a finalist, or is it sort of more that about a little bit about your story and I happen to be a finalist? Like, what's the sort of, how do you go?
Exactly what you just said. So it's about you, your story, and being a finalist. So that's why I like using in a press release like a heading and a subheading, because you kind of get like two shots to get those angles across. So that's, I never actually recommend leaving out the subheading in a press release. So it's both. It's the fact that you have got the credibility of being a finalist for the award, but it's also your story that got you there. So your story is what's going to get it across the line, and then kind of like the cherry on the cake is the fact that you're a finalist.
Would you thank you for that. Would you sort of say then, like, the heading would be more about, you know, you and your story, but would you include in this subheading and you're an award, you know, you're a finalist, or would that be in
your
the
pitch? So in your pitch, you would definitely include it, and in the press release, you need to include it as well. So they both are very important. You can't have one without the other, because you wouldn't have been a finalist without your story and your business. And the finalist is like the credibility that you want to get over the line, the story over the line. So you need to include them both.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Lee. Anyone else with a question? I also wanted to mention, Candice, that sometimes we find finalists in a local area get together and pitch together. And so then the paper comes and gets a photo of all of the women together and does a story and includes all of their businesses. So if anybody wanted to do that, we've got a little chat going in the Facebook group, and I've just sort of written roll call, tell us where you're from. So that can be a nice way to find other people who are finalists in your area. So I'm just going to post that link in there. Yeah, the Townsville Bulletin does it every single year. There's a really lovely journalist there who like writes to us. She's like, okay, who are your Townsville finalists? And contacts every single one of them and does a beautiful photo of them together.
Oh, amazing. I love that. That's so great. And it's also great for women to like collaborate together and to show that collaboration and elevating each other. So I love that the media is supporting that.
Yeah. It's really good. Any more questions? Just unmute and jump in and say hi if you have one.
Sorry, do we just write on the main Facebook page to connect with other people in the local
I've just
area?
put that link in there in the chat.
Yeah, I'm on the Facebook page, but do you just write a new post to find out who's in your local area?
I've put the roll call in there. So if you comment in there and scroll through the other comments, you might find other people who are local.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sarah, hello. Have you got a question?
Hi everyone. Hello again. Just a quick question. You're talking about, Candice, about with PR that, you know, it's a bit of a marathon. You've got to constantly be, you know, pitching new ideas, new stories, if things aren't resonating. How regularly are we talking about reintroducing a new newsworthy story? Like, are you talking about once a week, once a fortnight, once a month?
Aim once a month. If you're doing it your own PR and you can carve out that time for once a month, that's great. Obviously, if someone's got a PR agency on retainer, as your business grows and you need that extra support, then we constantly looking like on a daily basis for where we can put our clients, and we generally will pitch once a week for clients, but not more than that, because that will annoy and frustrate the media. So it doesn't have to be the same angle. It's thought leadership pieces, it's op-eds, it's tips, it's expert commentary, it's newsjacking. So there's that proactive and that reactive approach that you would do. So if you do it yourself once a month is great.
Okay, fantastic. And is it okay to be pitching the same story to a number of outlets?
So it is, but customize it to the outlet.
Yes.
So yeah, customize it, like edit it a little bit. And then if you give them an exclusive, so sometimes they'll ask for an exclusive. We had another Asma that we just did an exclusive for with the Daily Telegraph. So we had to actually, for 48 hours, we agreed to withhold pitching or doing any other media. So we did that. So if you do get an exclusive with a great publication, go for it. And then just withhold and respect their guidelines.
So if you've already, pitched the idea to someone else, but they haven't picked it up, then that's not an issue.
Yeah, it's not an issue. Go elsewhere. Yeah, first comes, first serve. Sometimes it's really competitive, especially at the online news sites, because it's like competing to who's going to put the story up first.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much, Candice. Really appreciate it.
Sarah, while you're there, your business is Cool Beans Underwear. Could you tell Candice a bit about what that is? And Candice might have some ideas for newsjacking or angles that you could go with.
So Cool Beans Underwear, we've invented the world's first scientifically designed men's health underwear to help optimize testosterone and sperm health. Sperm health is drastically declining worldwide, as is testosterone. I was just thinking now with the newsjacking one would be in relation to the Olympics. Our Olympians have incredibly high infertility rates, but also very low testosterone production because of the testes always running at such a high temperature by absorbing the body's core temperature. And then also the fabrics that their attire is made from, which is all about athletic underwear, athletic attire, cooling underwear. It's all polyester based, which has been scientifically proven to damage and kill sperm cells. So we have a whole new structural design of underwear that's fully patented and registered with the TJ as a medical device, and we're the only product globally that is tackling this problem.
Wow, it sounds incredible. So I would definitely go to mainstream media. It's big enough to get mainstream media, and also obviously men's health media, men's media, but mainstream media and news media should be able to cover it. And you are right. Like I would look into the Olympics and newsjacking it that way.
Because I thought I muted myself because that is we're just obviously a small startup right now. We've got our underwear line, but we want to go into the sports specific attire and into that elite athlete attire because it's not fair that our elite athletes, they dedicate their entire lives for their countries, for their teams, and then get penalized with the attire that they're wearing to be penalized with low testosterone and low sperm count. And testosterone is so important for physical performance, mental agility, as well as sex drive, erections, all of those things. And then to age gracefully, we don't want to be living our next generation of our life, being a cripple and not having the muscle retention and all of those things which we require for testosterone.
It sounds like you're a great spokesperson and thought leader in the industry. So I would really encourage you to do some mainstream media and focusing even on the sports media, but mainstream will get you that coverage that you need. And also men's media, sending out samples, but just being that advocate and sharing your message with mainstream media. I would encourage you to do that on a national scale.
Fantastic. Thank you, Candice. Really appreciate it. And I look forward to connecting on LinkedIn.
Right. Look forward. It's such a great product. Well done for developing that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sarah. Now, Annalise has a question and she said her microphone isn't the best, but she has asked, do you find media, particularly in the more metro areas rather than regional, are less interested in finalist stories, but would be more interested to cover the winner stories once the awards have been announced? What are your thoughts on that, Candice?
So it just depends on, so I always say try, like there's no harm in trying. Like once if you do get it and then you didn't try. So first of all, I'm going to tell you to do it in any way. And it's just about tweaking it. So remember, it's not just about the fact that you're a finalist, it's about your story and the brand or anything that's innovative or relevant or newsworthy at the moment. So if we have a client who's on retainer every single month, we still have to come up with new and fresh ideas and angles for them on a monthly basis. So they definitely use the finalist and the fact that you're a winner as two different angles.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree with that as well. Like definitely go for it, put it out there if you're a finalist. And if they don't pick up the story and then you win, well, then they've already heard of you when you come back and you're like, I was the winner, let's do a story.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And
great
also it's about
relationship.
building relationships. You never know, they might be doing a story in a few months' time or even next year on something that's relevant and they'll keep you on file. That happens as well. So
Yeah, absolutely. Any last questions before we wrap up? We've got time for one more if you want to jump in.
Hello, it's Jackie here from Rudy Nudie.
Hi, Jackie.
Hi. I'd love to just to see if there's any suggestions on media jacking for my brand. We have waterproof play mats, which are machine washable and they're really soft and comfy rather than the rubberized play mats, and also picnic rugs. And our picnic rugs, we've got a version now that has an umbrella eyelet in the middle so that you can finally fit your cool cabana into the center of the picnic rug rather than it being off center. So I was sort of thinking, especially leading into spring or summer, I was hoping to come up with some sort of clever idea for PR, and I was just wondering if Kat got any suggestions.
So it sounds like you're across two different like verticals. So I would say parenting as well as lifestyle. So getting in touch with on a national scale for your business, if you can ship nationally, is to parenting and lifestyle publications. And media gifting would also be really good if you can put a few samples aside. And media gifting is great as well. And then think the gift cards and summer gift cards and Christmas gift cards, all of those are going to start like 1st of September. Everyone's in the media space is gearing up into spring, summer, Christmas. So just jump on that.
Yep.
Like time is now for all of that.
Okay. Yeah, great idea. Thank you.
Sure.
Candice, just on that, Jackie, you're reminding me of Laura Furiosi. She had a swimwear brand and she did something in Brisbane where she invited all the mums and babies to come along and they got on TV. So they was like, I don't know, it wasn't really a flash mob, but they were all mums and babies at the pool. And the news picked up on it. So doing interesting things like that can be really cool as well. Have you heard of it? Have you got any other examples of that kind of thing, Candice, where they've done sort of a PR?
Oh yeah, definitely. So as long as you like look into your council guidelines or anything, because I know that especially here in Sydney with like they're so specific, like we can't have like more than 20 people, but if you do it, just look into the guidelines and that's such a great idea piece. So think of something out the box that you could do some kind of like large picnic for like mums and babies. Or I know there was a client of ours who they did like a dog high tea. So they had like it was a Sydney cafe, and then we got coverage for that the dogs came on a specific morning on a specific day for spring for their high tea, and people loved that. So just think out the box with any creative stories like that, and then invite media to come to that or set it up specifically for the media on that day.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. I actually live in Torquay in Victoria on the beach. And I'm just trying to think of something coming up for spring to really launch these umbrella picnic rugs, and had thought of just inviting out lots of families and things like that to come down and join in. So, and maybe having obviously some to give away to some of the families who do come. So yeah, I'll try and sort of work out what the guidelines are for the council as to what we can get away with.
Yeah, great. So just think of also just some like an angle and a key message for that, just to make it fun, so that the media would want to come and cover it. So like, are they going to bring like pets as well, or like just something out there that's like a little bit, or are they going to dress up like in a certain thing, or just something that will attract the media, and also think of picture editors if it makes a good photo.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Yep, brilliant. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Fabulous. All right. Well, we might wrap up now. But yes, please connect with Candice. I'll send out her details with the recording of this message, with this call as well. So you can get in touch with her if you've got any questions or if you would like to work with her. But thank you everyone for being here today. Thank you for everyone watching on the recording as well. And thank you so much, Candice. Any last words you want to share with us?
Just don't be scared. A lot of people are scared when it comes to reaching out to the media. Like the worst thing they can do is say no, and like just have a thick skin and then go to someone else if they're not interested. So there's always going to be someone who's interested in your story. So just do it.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Candice, and good luck everybody with getting those press releases out there. It's perfect timing right now with 2 weeks to go to the awards. So yeah, get out there and start emailing. All right. Thanks, everyone. See you again soon. Thanks, Candice. Bye.